being transgender, being trans, what I think of it is, I think of it as like an evolution. Like I've evolved. There was a point where I couldn't even leave my apartment if I had nail polish on. Freak out. You know, and now you're all seeing me like, you know, this is how I go to work.
To me, being trans is identifying as anything but what you were assigned at birth. It means living authentically. It means holding your truth tight, despite what society or your friends or your family or ignorant people might have to say about how you should be living.
So being a trans man to me means, I guess, defining what you see as masculinity. Some people think of masculinity as like fixing the car or being a mechanic type of thing, or I don't know, being a handyman or things like that. But in reality, all that stuff is just toxic masculinity. Masculinity could mean anything from getting your nails done and feeling like a man.
There's been a few negative aspects. I have family that, it's not that they're not supportive, it's just they don't really want to understand. They don't really want to talk about it. So it hurts.
Being trans impacts my life from the moment I wake up. It impacts my life when I apply for a job, when I go to the grocery store, when I'm looking for an apartment, or seeking health care. Gender is something that we may not even realize we're giving off cues to the people around us, people who are strangers, people who think they know us. I'm non-binary, which means I don't identify as a male or a woman, and our society currently has not caught up or hasn't remembered that definition of gender just yet.
Being trans has impacted my life in multiple different ways, some good and some bad, but the bad have never like gotten in the way of anything. Nothing is ever gonna like change the way I am. I'm just gonna be who I am always, because there's nothing I can do about it. Typically, something that is very difficult for a trans person is to get a job. Know that a lot of cis people don't experience this because of course they're okay with their IDs. I mean, I know some people don't like their picture on their ID, but it's much deeper for a trans person. It's not just your picture, but it's the birth name sometimes that you have on your ID, and the gender marker. When it says the F instead of the M, it's very difficult. Sometimes when you're passing and sometimes when you're not passing, because you want to identify as a certain way and they don't see it that way.
One of the best things is that I have a stronger relationship with my wife than I did before I had come out. You know, we had problems, you know, communicating. You know, I was always dealing with anger, depression issues, and once I was able to come out, once I was able to get help, you know, it definitely improved the quality of my life.
Non-binary is glamorous, it's hairy, it's dramatic, it's retiring and passive, it's glitter and it's concrete. It is something indefinable, but also something here and present and now.
Something positive is, you know, getting the support from your friends. Cis people aren't just gonna go to their friends and be like, I'm cis, and they're gonna get all the support. So it's always great when you go to your friends and you tell them, hey, like, I'm trans, by the way, and they give you like unconditional love. There
is no set look for a non-binary. A lot of people, because of the media or, you know, just really prominent non-binary figures, assume that we are all light-skinned, androgynous, thin, and able-bodied. But non-binary can literally encompass anything. And, you know, a non-binary person can have a beard, they can have a really large chest, they can dress in what we normally think of as traditionally feminine clothes or traditionally masculine clothes.
So my radical transgender agenda, or my transmission, usually begins around 7 in the morning when my son has to get up for school. Usually it's my wife who, you know, is up first with him. I'll get ready for work, he's getting ready for school, she's getting him ready to get out the door so they can walk to school.
A typical day for me, I'm a barber, so I cut hair on a almost daily basis, pretty much. I go to school, or I go to barber school right now. Something else that I do is I work at a sex shop. So those are two very different things, a barber and a sex shop worker, but I have a lot of fun with both of those things.
I am a non-binary person, and I'm just like you. I enjoy painting, I have a dog and a really grumpy cat. I like to watch Netflix with my boyfriend, and sometimes I forget to, shave my upper lip. I get bedhead, and I like hot Cheetos and cheese, and I'm not afraid to flip off the rude person at the grocery store for staring at my hairy legs or the fact that I'm taller than my boyfriend.
So sometimes, people who aren't trans, they want to ask a whole bunch of questions about being trans, and sometimes trans people aren't comfortable answering that. And it also goes to where trans people are with their comfortability about being out. So for myself, I'm very out, very open about it. You can ask me questions if I have the time, I'll answer. But other people may not be.
The trans community is strong, it's powerful, it's beautiful, and we're not going away. We're gonna just get bigger and louder, and your kids are gonna be empowered to identify as trans if they want, and we will not be erased from history again. Being trans, being trans.
Trans